you went, okay? A biconditional is the conditional from either direction, right? And then if you look at just this part and just this part, that's a modus ponens. Does everybody see that?
So you didn't have to state which one it was.
And you don't have to on the test either. So I'm just, well, congratulating you guys in some sense, because you said, that's deducted by virtue of its form, but it's not actually any of the forms that we've talked about. But you said, I know that that follows logically, which is great. You want to know why? Because that's exactly what we're going to be doing in chapter 5, right? You would say something like this, well, I know this is true, which means that this is true, which means this is true, and therefore this and that by modus ponens gets me that. That's all chapter 5 is, right? And you guys are doing it intuitively already. Oh, we might as well just go home. But we can't. Okay. More Yorkies. Okay. These were 2. Look at how long these are. Oh. Okay. We'll read the short ones from that. There's a whole lot of fluff here. Danica, Joshua, Beatrice, Jimbo, and Daquan all go out to eat at Daryl's. Danica spends $18 for one poor boy. Joshua spends $60 for one poor boy, 3 beers and 6 shots of Cuervo. Beatrice spends $36 for 2 poor boys. $36 for 2 boys? 2 poor boys, that's way too much. Jimbo spends $10 for half a poor boy. Daquan spends $76 for 3 poor boys. Who can one of which he will eat there, and 2 more he wishes to eat later that night. When the time comes to leave, they split the full check among them 5 ways. Therefore, they individually spent $45 for their full meal out of $200 worth of food. So you might not have caught all the numbers there, but first let's talk about which kind. Deductive?
That's deductive based on mathematics.
Okay, and now the question is, was the math right or wrong, right? And the math was wrong, so we would say invalid. Okay. I will drink tequila tonight, or I will drink Hennessy tonight. If I drink tequila tonight, then I know I will have a good time. If I drink Hennessy tonight, then I know I will be sick tomorrow. Therefore, I'll either have a good time or I'll be sick tomorrow.
That's a prediction.
Of virtue.
Of its form.
Yeah.
Deducted by virtue of its form, and that one is the constructive dilemma. Okay? Israel, it is making a prediction, right? But it fits that form, right? So always check to see if it fits one of the argument forms, and if it does defer to that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we exclude form, then I would think that you're right. It's a deductive prediction, right? But if it does fit into one of those deductive forms, I want you to call it deductive by virtue of its form. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Mabel had hash browns or French fries as her side. Mabel did not have hash browns as her side, so she had French fries. Yes.
By virtue of its form,
Yes. And therefore,
it's valid.
it is necessarily valid, yeah. Okay. Dr. Allen is a practicing veterinarian. Therefore, Dr. Allen treats people's pets.
Deductive by definition,
Okay.
and it's invalid.
Invalid?
No, not valid.
Well, I like invalid better.
What you say?
Let's read this again slowly, okay? Dr. Allen is a practicing veterinarian. Therefore, Dr. Allen treats people's pets. So it seems like they're saying this follows from what it is to be a veterinarian. So this is deductive by virtue of definition, right? Now the question is, does a veterinarian necessarily treat people's pets?
Oh, no.
Not only.
Yeah, not only.
Right. Or not even. Some veterinarians don't deal with pets, right? They deal with,
Study of,
yeah.
yeah.
So they might just deal with horses and cows and pigs and farm animals. Does everybody understand that? And therefore it would be what? Invalid, right? Okay. It is Halloween night tonight. Most people give out candy for trick or treat. If I go out trick or treating, I will come home with a bag of candy.
Deductive by virtue of its form, and it is invalid.
I'm not seeing the form here. So, what do you think, people? Making a prediction, inductive prediction, strong or weak?
Weak. Because when you think about it, we could maybe get, may not get a bag of candy, because who knows, those people already gave it away.
Okay, they might not. Are they likely to? What's your answer? To likely to. So, look, one of the things that you have to avoid is when you get an inductive argument, don't automatically gravitate to this. You say, well, not necessarily. It's not a guarantee that you'll have a bag full of candy. That doesn't make it necessarily weak. What you have to do is ask, what's likely? Is it likely that you'll come home with a bag of candy? If the answer is yes, then say strong. Does everybody understand that? So don't get confused with not necessarily with weak. Don't equivocate the two, okay? Did we already do a New Yorker? Oh, yeah. Yeah. On my trip to New York City,
Layla?
what?
Layla?
Oh, Layla. On my trip to New York City, every person I encountered was rude and mean. Therefore, all New Yorkers must be rude and mean. See, there's this trend here. And so that's what? An inductive
Yeah.
generalization and weak. But if we start piling up all the people who went to New York who end up saying everybody was mean or rude, then we might end up with a strong argument that New Yorkers are just rude. Oh, yeah, she didn't read these, so. All dog food with high quality ingredients are beneficial for dogs' health. Blue Buffalo dog food contains high quality ingredients, therefore it's beneficial for a dog's health.
Let's say you don't know much about dog food.
only in a class like this do you end up saying a sentence like that. Let's suppose we don't know much about dog food. Okay. Well, Israel, first, what, inductive or deductive?
Thinking that
Okay. And?
probably generalization or
The conclusion is, therefore, it's beneficial for a dog's health, it being Blue Buffalo. So in some sense, it's making a prediction, right? Well, no, it's not making a prediction. It's not saying, you're right, it's not making a prediction. So here's the thing, and this is why I would rework this one. I think the attempt here is to make this deductive by virtue of its form. But it doesn't actually have the form explicitly stated, right? It says all dog food, if it had said, if a dog food contains high quality ingredients, then it's beneficial for a dog's health. Blue Buffalo contains high quality ingredients, therefore, then it's obviously inductive by virtue of its form, right? Okay, so that's how I would classify it, even though it's not strictly speaking in its form, but that's why I wouldn't put a question like this on the test, because it's not overtly in that argument form. Does everybody understand that? You have to kind of do a mental translation of that first sentence for it to fit like that. And we don't want that, we want it just what's on the paper. Does everybody understand that? So, okay. In the past, studying 2 hours a day has improved my test scores. Therefore, studying 2 hours a day will likely improve my next test scores. Inductive.
Three prediction of probability.
Prediction probability, strong or weak?